Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at McFarlane Spawn 77 figures. These are both red platinums. I got these guys from the GameStop app, and they arrived today. We have the classic color version in black and white, and then the 77 version in blue and red. Let's take a look at the packaging. They're in the clear clamshells, ages 14 plus, includes exclusive comic book in the English language. McFarlane Platinum Edition, Spawn 1977, part of the Spawn line, and McFarlane Toys Digital. Here he is in the package. A pretty traditional look, but kind of retro, and then tons and tons of guns, digital card, collector's card, display stand, all that stuff. On the back, here he is, in black and white. The figure's not in black and white. I mean, it's in black and white, but still in color, if you know what I mean. And at the bottom, there's a barcode if it helps. Next, we have the blue and red version. Kind of reminds me of the high school Spawn he made a while ago. Big, giant Gatling gun. A couple other guns. McFarlane Platinum Edition. Same type of accessories in the back. Here he is posed up in full color from Spawn 77. So with no further ado, let's open them up. Alright, now they got these figures out of the package. Here they are with all their accessories laid out, and they come with tons and tons of stuff, decked out with weapons. We also have collector's card, display stand, digital redemption card, and a comic book. Before I tailored all that, let's talk about and check out these figures. So, this is Spawn based off of Spawn 77. Spawn 77 is a comic series that was supposed to come out back in April, and I don't think it's even out yet. It's not Al Simmons. This takes place, I guess, back in 1977, about 20 years before Spawn, and it's a different Spawn. Now, the whole concept of Spawn 77 is this is Todd McFarlane's original design for Spawn, and then many years later in the 90s, it evolved by the time it actually came out. So he's taking his original concept of Spawn and making it into a comic. And what is this? Better part of 50 years later. Now, we did get a previous Spawn figure, and it was called High School Spawn, and that was based off the Todd McFarlane original Spawn design, and looks similar to this, and that's more or less what these are based off of. We have the regular version on the left, and that's the color scheme for the comics, and on the right, we have, I guess, sort of a black and white variant, which is really just an excuse to make him in the modern Spawn colors repainted from this new sculpt, which is a really, really cool idea for a variant. In this video, we're going to take a look at each of the figures, we're going to check out their accessory site and articulation, and we'll compare them with a bunch of action figures. Now before we look at each of the figures, let's check out the sort of boring shared accessories. So, we have the display stand, typical McFarlane display stand. This one says McFarlane Toys Digital, because if you buy this figure, you get a digital redemption card, so you can have a digital version of the figure as well. And I have no idea why anybody would want that, but it is a thing. And for his collector's card, you can see Spawn 77, both in color and black and white. On the back, a little description. If you want to read that, pause now. We also get a digital redemption card, McFarlane Toys Digital. On the back, you can scratch it off and you have a code to redeem your digital figure. Like I said, it doesn't really do much for me, and I seem to hear that pretty consistently out there. And now for the comic book, Spawn 77, both in color and black and white. It's a brand new series that still isn't out yet. We got Spawn holding his weapons, Spawn 77. Back we have the Spawn logo. On the inside, you can see it says Spawn 77 Toy Edition. What's weird is this is not Spawn 77. This is totally the regular Al Simmons Spawn. I see his holding characters from his universe. It's very misleading that they put Spawn 77 on the cover, but that does not seem to be what we're getting. That is absolutely Al Simmons there. I'm not sure what this is a reprint of, but that is not the right thing to put on the cover if you're going to do that. And now, for the actual Spawn figures. The blue and red version is how he's supposed to look in the comics, and Todd McFarlane said originally it was sort of more of a sci-fi thing versus a, Hell Spawn. And the comic's not actually out yet, so I'm not really sure what to expect, although he has skulls painted on him, so I'm kind of assuming it's maybe more the Hell Spawn direction. It's cool to have the color version for this guy, and the black and white sort of Al Simmons version. Tons of guns. We have 3 guns with the regular version, and 5 guns with the black and white. So let's take a closer look. You can see his eyes there, almost kind of bug-eyed, totally blue head, big giant exaggerated collar, clasps here going down. And I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly this is the Martian Manhunter DC body, but we'll check that out in a little bit. A little bit of texture on the legs there, double jointed elbows and knees, big Buccaneer style boots with skulls on them, red cape, darker red on the inside. It looks good. And I kind of like the idea of having yet another Spawn that's not Al Simmons to add to the collection. In this one here, everything's painted on. You can see where the original sort of eyes were sculpted. They just painted white all around it. I mean, it's a cool variant. They're both platinum, so that's kind of weird, because I feel like that should be a regular and this guy should be platinum, but whatever. Exact same body, same texture on the leg, double joints, cape, all that good stuff. Like I said, great idea for a variant. Interesting idea for a whole new comic series and a whole new character into the Spawn universe. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. It's fairly basic, just smooth blue head with some sculpted red eyes and yellow. But that's pretty much how his original idea looked. It totally evolved over the years. Love Spawn we have nowadays, but it's cool to see what could have been. And a closer look at the black and white ones, face and head sculpt, green eyes. It is a little frustrating to see those sculpted original eyes that don't really match the way they painted this one, but it's still kind of a cool idea for a variant. Although they seem to neither one be rare chase variants, just red exclusives. And then, here are these figures, broken down as far as they can go, with all of their removable parts detached. Now let's check out their accessories, and let's start off with their hands. They each have a total of 4 hands, 2 left hands, and 2 right hands. And for the love of God, I do not know why, but if we have 8 guns between these 2 figures, why do we not have trigger finger hands? Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his gripping hands. And his other pair of hands. His left hand is a fist, and his right hand is kind of an odd pose. Looks like he's about to shoot some webbing out. Here are the guns that came with the regular color version. He has 3 guns. We have this large minigun. If I'm not mistaken, this came with one version of the Gunslinger Spawn. Little skull there. Big giant drum at the bottom, so you can hold it here, support it up here, and a large barrel. Then we have this rifle. It's got a large drum at the bottom, both black and gray on the paint job. And this smaller submachine gun. The guns all look pretty cool. Here's Spawn holding that minigun with 2 hands, and then holding onto that larger rifle, and here holding that submachine gun. And then here are the guns that come with the black and white version. He comes with 5 guns. We'll start off with this large sort of sniper rifle type thing. Got a little red at the back. It's got a fantastic scope, and then a long small barrel. Next we have this little burst rifle here. You see the clip sticking out, red paint job, some silver striping, looks good. Little submachine gun, skull logo on the back, nice sculpt. Another rifle of sorts, skull logo on the back, black and silver paint job. And yet another rifle. The clip is in black, the rest is more or less silver gray. Good sculpt, good guns, tons of them. Here's Spawn holding onto that sniper rifle. And then we have his first automatic rifle. And here he is with the burst rifle, this one painted in red. And then another rifle. This one's not too different from the last one. And finally, here's a submachine gun. Now to check out the reuse differences and similarities between these 2 versions of Spawn 77 and the high school Spawn, which is sort of another iteration of Spawn 77. And it is 100% the same figure, same sculpt, same articulation. So let's take a closer look. He's done a very similar paint job as that guy. It's almost opposites. Red legs, black legs, etc. But the eyes, they're still sculpted on. But that actually sort of matches the sculpt. Everything's the same. The clasp, the collar, even little sort of skulls on the boots. And this guy here is done in the modern color scheme, but is in some ways almost opposite of this guy. Not totally, but close. Here are all the Spawn figures that utilize this base body, and like I said before, This guy utilizes the same base body as Martian Manhunter in the DC Multiverse line. Here they are, next to all the other DC Multiverse figures that utilize this base body. Iron Man, Spectre, and Martian Manhunter. And now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figures and their accessories, let's check out the height. From bottom to the top of the head, standing right at 7 inches tall, which can translate to about 18 centimeters. And for the articulation, start with his head. Of course, it can rotate side to side. He can look up decent amount and down even more. Can tilt his head at least a little bit from side to side. Shoulders and a ball joint goes up a little bit more than 90 degrees. Down and around. He's got this butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest, increasing the range of motion and covering a gap that would be there. A little bit loose there. Bicep cut. Double jointed elbows. His wrists can rotate and it's hinged. Ball joint in the torso. Rotate around. Forward and back. Kind of limited there. Another one is waist. Rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, good range of motion, a little bit more of the waist and the torso. And the torso doesn't want to stick, it wants to just sort of go back. Legs complete of splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is minimal, but there. Legs go forward about that far. Back not much. Double jointed knees. And his ankle. Forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock, and to articulation. Here's a look at both these Spawn 77 figures in the city streets, armed up, ready for action. Now let's check them out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Spawn figures. Here are all the Proto Spawn figures, or 77, or High School Spawns, whatever you want to call them, which, as you know, came out of the mind of Todd McFarlane. Now let's check them out next to some of my favorite Spawn figures. Here they are, next to the Batman vs. Spawn, and the Throne Spawn. And here, next to the best couple Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn figures. Then, next to the Kickstarter Spawns, here are all of the McFarlane Platinum Spawn figures. We have Redeemer and Disruptor, and then all 3 High School or 77 Spawn figures, and then the Robot Wars and Deviant Spawn. Now there is one Platinum I am missing, and that is the Sketch Black and White Deviant Spawn. I don't imagine it's a very desirable figure, I just haven't come across one yet. Now let's check him out next to some other recently released Spawn figures. Here he is, next to the Call of Duty Spawn figures, all 3 of them. And here they are, next to both versions of Blood Axe. Then, with both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Deviant and Robot Wars Spawn. And finally, next to the Patina Spawn. Now let's check them out next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how they fit in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. Since they're McFarlane toys, they are typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and then work my way smaller. But first, let's check them out next to some of their McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale, and now, with some Jack-specific resin figures and Diamond Select toys, here they are, next to a dish scrubber, and here they are, with some DC Direct and NECA figures, then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures, and now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures, next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends, and finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, these are some pretty cool Spawn figures. I think the whole concept of 77 Spawn is a pretty cool idea, and I'm happy they're making figures from it. I think the Platinum Chase variant of the Al Simmons color scheme is also a really good idea. These figures are loaded with accessories, tons and tons of guns, and you can use them with other action figures if you want. The comic, honestly, it's misleading. That's kind of a slap in the face. The reuse, it's really not a problem. I think it works good for a high school or 77 Spawn. Paint job, excellent. Accessories, plentiful. If I were to rate these guys, I'd probably give them like a 7 out of 10. I think they both deserve that score. I prefer the more accurate color scheme to the comics, but the Al Simmons paint variant is pretty nice as well. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.